Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the GSR week preview. We had a full week of racing across all three tiers, and there's a lot to talk about. And yeah, tonight we'll break everything down, starting with tier 1, then moving to tier 2 and tier 3. And when I say we, I mean myself, as usual, but I'll be joined tonight by my good friend Hapalito. Hapalito, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for the invite being here. I'm quite excited to talk about everything that has happened this week. First time being here, so yeah, let's see how it goes. I'll try my best, and yeah, let's start basically talking about everything that happened.
Yeah, and I wouldn't waste any time, and I would say we dive right in to tier 1. And obviously, this will be the recap of week number 2 of GSR Season 16. So we will cover the Bahrain Grand Prix. And yeah, tier 1, the race results. Okay, I might have to mention this is late Saturday evening. We basically just finished tier 2, so the last round of this week. And those are all the provisional results. We don't have the full results yet, and we don't go into the details of who might get a penalty and who not and what if. Yeah, so we just covered the provisional results for all three tiers so far. And yeah, Bahrain, tier 1. I commentated that one. It was a very exciting race. I don't know if you saw it, Habalito?
Yes, I followed the race because fellow friends of mine also are racing in Tier 1 this season, so yeah, I watched it.
All right, good. that is good. So we both should have some insights on that race then. Yeah, tier 2 had a decent race. The late safety car basically threw whole chaos into there. And because of the safety car, a driver who actually didn't have the greatest of races there won, in fact. It was Kuro coming home in P1 ahead of Moore leader in second and Hitman then in third. We've got Ritzadan in fourth, Assassin in P5, Mafio and Overdrive in P6 and 7, Lenny P8, Bob P9, Maximu getting that final points finish as it stands right now in P10. Then we've got 8 and Jimbo in P11 and 12, Speedyman in P13, Grenade in P14, and then we've got the 4 DNFs of Cormy Uncle, Matt, Sleazy, and Liverpool. But let's start at the top. Kuro, like I mentioned, didn't have the greatest of races, had a lot of trouble in the early parts of the race, but luckily, because of that safety car, he came back in to challenge for the win, and he actually got it as well. So how did you saw his performance, Apalito?
I think it was really impressive considering he started from P10, so it was an amazing drive for him. To be fair, it was all kind of thanks to the safety car. The safety car helped him a lot. So basically, situation was a lot of other people pitted, and he stayed out on his, I think, at that time, 4 or 5 laps old mediums, and then he basically converted that position into a win. Yeah, it was a great drive, kind of combined with a little bit of luck, but yeah, I think that's just something that happens a lot of times in racing. So yeah, great drive from him, especially considering he started P10. And I think it was also his first ever win in GSR, so I hope we can see more of that because it was a great performance. I would like to see him much more often at the top because it was really fun watching him race. But yeah, let's see what the future brings.
Yeah, and obviously, Apolito, you had a great season last season. This season, you're struggling a little bit, but you know how it feels to be up at the top and to fight for wins. How much do you feel it boosts the confidence of, in that case, Kuro, to finally get that win? And although it might have been a little bit lucky, you still have to manage to hold on to that. And so how much do you think it boosts his confidence heading into the next round in China?
I think it makes actually a massive difference. Not only for Kuro, like I feel like he's got a lot of momentum right now, as he's probably very, very motivated now for China. But also like for his competitors who didn't do that well, I think it has actually a massive impact. As of now, I'm actually quite interested to see if Speedyman, if he can bounce back, as he's probably practiced a lot for Bahrain, but actually got quite unlucky with a disconnect. And that's also like kind of shifts someone's mentality, right? Seeing, practicing basically a lot and then not being able to even be in the points. It can be really it can really influence your mentality negatively. So I'm interested to see how obviously Speedyman can bounce back, and also how like this momentum can shape up Kuro's future in T1 GSR Season 16. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited. I can't wait for Shanghai then to see how this will turn out, because we have quite a very good grid in Tier 1, and there are like more than enough people that say that should be capable of winning races, and now Kuro is also one of them. Let's talk maybe about More Leader now, who is actually, in fact, I think nobody saw that coming, but More Leader is now the championship leader. Got P4 in Australia, so 12 points for him. Now he got second place with the fastest lap. That means 19 points on top, so he's now on 31 points. Speedyman second with 27 points. Yeah, like I said, I think nobody really saw that coming, but nonetheless, More Leader is now the championship leader. He did a great job as well in that race. Wasn't quite enough in the end for the win. Yeah, how do you see him? How does it change him personally, maybe now being the championship leader? Because that is quite a pressure situation now for him.
Yeah, basically, I must admit he kind of flew under the radar for the past two races, like Bahrain and Australia. For me especially, I didn't really notice him until now, like when he's obviously championship leader. But it's yeah, I mean, I hope he doesn't really like focus too much on being like P1 in the championship driver standings right now, because I think that just kind of distracts you from like really going racing. I think for now, for him, it's really important just to like keep the performance basically going, as he's had great performances these 2 rounds we've just had. And yeah, basically winning a championship in GSR is basically all about consistency, right? So yeah, he's doing a great job at this so far, and yeah, we'll see how he will do in the future. But for now, it's looking good for him, and yeah, let's hope he can bring more of those performances.
Yeah, hopefully. And let's quickly then talk about the third one on the podium, Hitman. Hitman had a very great weekend as well, or Wednesday, I should say. Starting P2, so finished P2 in qualifying, not too far off Speedyman actually, was quite close, considering the pace Speedyman is showing in qualifying. Yeah, started second in qualifying, finished third in the end, on the podium as well. Do you think like he is, or do you think like that is something he could be very happy with, or do you think like he could maybe be a little bit disappointed that there wasn't more possible in this race for him?
I think for now, considering it's only round 2, and also he's like getting used to GSR Tier 1, it's a very good result. Obviously, it's quite obvious he has the pace to basically fight for podiums and possibly for wins, if he has a little bit of luck. So yeah, he can be very happy with that result. Obviously, I think it's very clear if he wants to win the Drivers' Championship, he should continue pushing like a lot, especially if you have people like More Leader who really consistently score points every weekend. It will be tough, like especially if you make 1 or 2 mistakes, because those mistakes will be punished massively, especially in Tier 1, where there's basically no room for error if you want to finish good in the points. So yeah, let's see how he can do in the next few races. For now, it's looking good for him. Yeah, so... But I think for now as well, it's just for him like to get some experience in as well, with like with the environment, with the people around him, like kind of getting used to the personalities around him as well, like what kind of drivers are around him. But yeah, I think if he gets used to that, and if he just focuses on himself and on his pace, he will do very good in the next few races as well.
Yeah, and okay, and let's talk about the big outliners. So first of all, Overdrive. In Australia, he already just finished 7th after penalties have been applied. this time in Bahrain, obviously before the penalties, that could change anything. Again, 7th only. So obviously that is not at all the start of into the new season a current champion wants to have. Obviously Overdrive winning tier 1 championship last season. Australia, you could have said bad luck, whatever. Now Bahrain again, just P7, 6 points again. He's sitting in P8 in the driver standings at the moment after 2 races of 12. Yeah, is that like, do you think he can already like, don't like, how do I want to say it? Forgot. Or do you think it's gonna be, is it still possible for him to win the championship? Of course, 10 races to go, still many things can happen. You could win every single one of them and win the championship by a mile. But in a competitive field like this one, do you think is he gonna come back from this?
I very much think so. Just by looking at his experience, he basically gained last season and basically winning the Tier 1 Drivers' Championship. But I think it just comes down to him now, like how he manages the situation. Obviously, it's quite tricky right now, as he's really struggling to find some good results. But yeah, I think he doesn't have any need to put pressure on himself. He knows he has the pace from last season. We also saw in Bahrain he can easily keep up with quali pace, as P3 in basically F1 25 in quali is enough of a position to fight for wins. As normally you have basically a massive DRS train normally, and then you can basically fight for positions from there on. Yeah, but yeah, it's just kind of how he manages this kind of, I would say, maybe problem right now. But yeah, I'm not very much concerned as of now, as it's only been two rounds basically, and we all know what he's done last season. So yeah, it's just maybe getting some more practice and maybe getting some more confidence in as well. Maybe staying clear of incidents, as he's had an incident in Australia and he's got a 5-second penalty because of that. So yeah, it's just about now basically converting what you get from qualifying into the possibly best result, and I'm confident he can do that, as he's basically won a lot of races last season.
Yeah, alright. And if we look at the wider picture now, race number 2 now done. Do you think that's already a time of the season where you can start to like see some sorts of championship contenders forming? Like, would you say there are some people already showing that they have to be counted with fighting for the title?
I think yes. I think there are some people you can definitely count in. As of now, I would say definitely more leader, because he's just shown some incredible consistency throughout these 2 races, which is basically I would say 60 or like, yeah, I would say it's basically 60% of the drivers. Like, it matters a lot in the drivers championship, right? Just being consistent, and I would say it's like about 60% of the work done already if you're just consistent. So yeah, I would definitely count him in, but the rest, it's kind of difficult to say, as we've only seen 2 races. I can tell it will come down to who makes the most mistakes as well, because errors in Tier 1 or mistakes in Tier 1 are punished very, very harshly. So basically you spin once and you're basically down, maybe out of points, or you get a track limit warning and there's a safety car, you're basically down to like out of the points as well. So yeah, I think it's quite early to tell for the rest, but I'm confident with more leader that he will be able to fight for a drivers' championship.
Yeah, right. And besides the fight for the top positions, we also have a great midfield fight. We've got a lot of drivers behind the top 4, 5 maybe, that basically take the points off each other the whole time. And I think this is going to be a great battle throughout the season. Who do you think will play a huge role in there? Because, like I said, we have some great drivers in there, well, who might just miss the edge on fighting for the title, but who could do great behind the title contenders. So who do you think is gonna show us what they got this season?
I think one of these guys will definitely be Rizzard, as he's won the Tier 2 championship last season, and I know he's just a really hardworking guy, and he doesn't like to lose races, so he will probably give a lot of like he will put a lot work in just to be able to fight at the top again. And I think with just snatching away a few podiums, he will be very decently placed in the driver standings. I also want to point out that OVR Assassin is a really decent driver as well. Like as he qualified P9 in Bahrain and finished P5 as well. I think gaining 4 positions in Tier 1 is very, very tough, and he just made that work. So yeah, great stuff from him. I'm also interested to see if he can snatch away a podium or two maybe later on the season. And for me personally, kind of an underdog. It's a kind of a hot call, I would say, but I think Lenny is a really, really good driver as well. He's very young. I believe he can learn very, very fast. Maybe not fast enough this season to snatch away a podium, but obviously maybe he will be able to with a little bit of luck. But besides that, always we've got 8 F1 basically driving clean races and very often finishing in the points. We also got Jimbo basically driving really, really decent races. I think he got quite unlucky in Bahrain. I don't remember quite correctly what happened there. We also got Mafio. I think he finished really well in last season in Mexico in Tier 1. So yeah, he finished also P6 in the Bahrain race. So great stuff from him as well. I think we will also see him very often up the sheet basically in the Bahrain in the race results. And yeah, that's basically it. I think there might be some surprises obviously from not only like other drivers. Maybe Sleazy will find his space, or maybe Call Me Uncle. Obviously Speed Demon will be back up there as well. He got quite unlucky in Bahrain, but yeah, we'll just have to see what Shanghai holds for us.
Yeah, and I would say we go over the standings then for Tier 1 quickly. We mentioned it already, more leader in the lead. And with 31 points, then we've got Speed Demon behind on 27, Kuro 25 in third, Trixie with 18 in fourth, and then we've got Hitman and AMG with both 15 points in P5 and 6. All the top 6 that I just mentioned have at least a podium. Speed Demon and Kuro both have a win, and I think it wouldn't be a surprise that without the disconnect that Speed Demon had now in Bahrain, that he would be surely up in P1 or still. But yeah, that's what happens sometimes. It's unfortunate, but it happened. So Kuro, more leader, took over the lead now. Now, what does this picture tells you about the season when you just look at it now?
Just by looking at it now, I think it's just tells us how much of a variety we will see at the podiums, basically. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of very different people got podiums, basically. I don't think is there one person who has been twice on the podium in those 2 races?
No.
Yeah, so that basically confirms my theory. So yeah, it will be quite exciting. I think there will be a lot more people joining that podium as well. In my opinion, Rizzard and Overdrive will definitely get a podium this season as well. But yeah, I think it will be very, very interesting to see how the future shapes up. Also, seeing Kuro basically win Bahrain, which was basically a whole surprise for everyone, considering Kuro wasn't really a contender for wins or podiums last season in Tier 1. But now, out of nowhere, he just wins Bahrain. Maybe we'll see more fairy tales stories like that in the future as well. Maybe even in Shanghai. Maybe someone else wins as well. We didn't expect him to win. So yeah, I think as of now it's just too early to tell who's the favorite. Obviously, you could argue Leader has driven 2 decent races, as I've mentioned before, but he still can make 1 or 2 mistakes, which cost him basically points, and then it can be enough for T1 to be basically out of the championship fight, because it's so close. But yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm very excited for the future.
Yeah, me too. And let's quickly go over the constructor standings in Tier 1 then as well. There we see Racing Bulls, after their amazing first round in Australia, they had the complete opposite. A terrible race in Bahrain, which saw both cars, well, not DNFing, but outside the points. Well, I think it was only Speedyman actually who raced for the Racing Bulls, so yeah, very unfortunate for them. And that means they only scored 1 point, and that was a 1 point from Speedyman's pole position, of course. But nonetheless, they still lead with 45 points now. But Red Bull, who were second after Australia anyway, they had a pretty good weekend with gaining the 25 points here. So they are only 2 points behind Racing Bulls now. Then we've got Ferrari in P3. They are on 35 points, so 10 points behind Racing Bulls. Then Sauber in P4, Haas in P5 with 16 points both. McLaren in P6 with 14 points. Williams and Aston Martin in P7 and 8 with 10 points. Then Mercedes in P9 with 9 points. And Alpine at the bottom of the table with 8 points. So the good news already, all teams scored some points. That is pretty good for the second round of the season. Good to see. It's always sad to see one team just not being able to score a single point. So yeah, we already have all teams scoring points. But of course, the big topic here is the gap from Racing Bulls that completely evaporated. It was 26 points heading into Bahrain. Now it's only 2 points. Yeah, Haba, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think especially we had the pre-season show when we basically when we have kind of decided who will race in which car and who will be teammates and everything. I think everyone was kind of unhappy about the fact that Trixie and Speedyman were in the same team. I think everyone kind of said, yeah, okay, this is basically a free constructors for them. But as of now, I wouldn't say it's such free constructors. Because Red Bull just been performing really well. Obviously, we have more leader now, who's kind of flew under the radar. But now, obviously, he's a championship leader, and we've got the reigning champion of last season, Overdrive. So, yeah, these Red Bull and Racing Bulls, they are basically head-to-head for the Constructors' Championship right now. And yeah, obviously, Racing Bulls, they have a great lineup. Speedyman, absolute fast guy. He basically scores every pole there is to actually get. Trixie, obviously, also a phenomenal guy. Really fast, and the Racing Bulls also they got the P1 and P2 in Australia. And yeah, Red Bull obviously now with more leader who seems to be able to score points consistently. It's just great, obviously, for scoring points for Red Bull. And we still got Overdrive, like the guy who basically won last season in Tier 1. So everyone knows he definitely has the pace. So yeah, it will be very interesting to see how this shapes up in the future. We also got Ferrari, obviously with Koro now winning the race in Bahrain. Miranda scoring decent points in Australia. So let's see where they will finish at the end of the season. But yeah, obviously, well, we might have some surprises. As we just had with Kuro in Bahrain winning, we might have the Aston Martin guy winning next race. So yeah, I think there will be a lot of surprises also, like in the championship for the constructors. But yeah, I will definitely say Racing Bulls and Red Bull will be at the top, but the rest is still kind of a surprise. So yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of surprises, what do you think, or what for you personally is the biggest surprise in the constructors now after Tier 2? Is it the gaps maybe between the teams, or is it a team being in a specific position? Like, in general, what's your biggest surprise?
Especially after round 1, I would say the biggest surprise for me that's the comeback of Red Bull, basically. Because honestly, I thought this will be probably the most free Constructors Championship ever I've seen. But it's obviously not, because more leader and Overdrive were able to fight back. So I'm quite happy to see that. Quite happy to see some competition. And for me, it's the biggest surprise by far. Because more leader, I think it's his first ever season in GSR as well, so I didn't know what to expect from him. I know from Overdrive that he's not that too focused on F1 right now, because some other private things. So I wasn't expecting too much from Red Bull, but now after Bahrain, I actually have high hopes, so that's my biggest surprise. Just seeing them to be able to fight with Racing Bulls. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did race before at the end of season 15. So, but it is his first official full season, and yeah, I gotta agree. I think he surprised us all with his pace and his consistency. And I mentioned to 8, I think, that for any other constructor than Racing Bulls to win, they need to hope on, or they need to have luck, or Racing Bulls need to have bad luck. And when they have bad luck, just like in Bahrain now, the other constructors, they need to be there. They need to score the points, and that's exactly what Red Bull did. And yeah, I think, like I said, Leader kind of surprised us there. And if he can keep his form up, like if he can consistently score those points, like 12 points in Australia, 19 points now, if he can keep on scoring those points, and if Overdrive then can find back to his form and be up there as well, and I think we're all gonna think the same, that Overdrive might be a little bit quicker even than Leader, and Overdrive could be the one scoring some wins here. And Leader, though, always near the podium, somewhere around in that region. I think that Red Bull has a realistic chance at the title here, because I feel like in the Racing Bull team there's more potential for some disaster, for some DNFs in the race, for some teammate crashes, maybe even. We saw them both very close together in Australia, and both will be racing again at Shanghai, so yeah, who knows. So I feel like if Red Bull could stay in reach of Racing Bulls, I feel like they have a good opportunity to get a shot at the title, maybe towards the end when Racing Bulls are doing some mistakes.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think that's everything then for Tier 1 at the moment. Or do you want to say anything? Have anything left to say?
As of now, no. I think the predictions for Shanghai will be talked about later, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Yeah, so as of now, there's not really anything I would like to add.
Okay, good. Then we move on to Tier 2, which, like I mentioned, just ended roughly 1.5 hours ago. And yeah, a very entertaining race as well. We saw Lazy Boy taking the win ahead of Redo and Amy on Curry. Then we've got Walters in P4, Jaccio in P5, Odin and Jezza in P6 and 7, Vipex P8, Quickvic P9, Habalito Yosef only in P10. Then we've got Nosk and Mouton in P11 and 12, Venus P13, Kleine Pro P14, The Woos and Lama in P15 and 16. And then, unfortunately, we've got the DNFs from Soats, Lilelut, Abu, and Ayaho. And yeah, let's just dive right in. Lazy Boy, pole position in Australia, wasn't quite able to get the win. Pole position now in Bahrain again, and now he got the win. What do you think about his performance tonight?
Well, his performance was absolutely incredible. I think his qualifying time would have put him somewhere in top 5 in T1. So yeah, it was an absolute monster for that. Obviously with Omi and Curry, who kind of kept up with him. He also had a gap of 3/10 to him, so it was still quite massive. But yeah, it was just really a dominant performance from Lazy Boy. I don't have any info on how much he practiced or whatever, but seeing such a big gap in qualifying and seeing such a big gap in the race as well just shows how quick he's become. Obviously, you could argue he's been in Tier 1 last season, now he's in Tier 2 this season, that he kind of has an advantage. Also, like kind of as he's been basically used to arguably faster pace last season, and now he's basically doesn't have to deliver that good to be on top in Tier 2. But still, it's not that easy to put in such an incredible performance. I just basically lived through it myself. So yeah, it's just crazy to see someone deliver that like this good of results, especially in Australia. He kind of had a I think he got pole as well. Yeah, he got pole as well. Then he got kind of a bad race for the first part, I would say, but then still he come back onto P2. So yeah, he simply has incredible pace. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the race showed, or the other drivers didn't made it too easy for him, especially in the first half of the race. He was quite under pressure from, yeah, all sorts of people basically, and it was only after the pit stops that he got some clean air. Didn't have anyone directly behind him in the DRS window, so he wasn't that much under pressure, and he just, you know, did his laps, gained slowly but steadily on the guys behind him, who were also fighting with each other, so that helped, of course. So in the end, 10-second the gap between LazyBoy and Redo in P2, and I think that was just a pretty solid performance. Quite good to see LazyBoy getting that win now that he maybe should have already gotten in Australia, but yeah, he did now a perfect weekend, I would say. Pole position and then the win. Redo in P2. Not quite surprised by our race winner from Australia, but yeah, second place now, first place last week. Just like LazyBoy, actually, they both switched positions. So LazyBoy got P2 last week in Australia, now the win. Redo got P1 in Australia, now the second place. But LazyBoy also got a bonus point both times for pole position, of course. So that means he's in the standings now ahead of Redo, but only 2 points separating them two. Do you think this could be already like a championship fight forming up between those two here?
Yeah, definitely. They both seem to have the pace to be on the top consistently. So yeah, I think for Redo it was quite a shocker to see a 10-second gap in this race to LazyBoy. I think he's quite a bit concerned if he can find the pace back basically to fight LazyBoy. But yeah, obviously Redo getting P1 last week, incredible performance, and now still getting P2, so some great consistency from him also in qualifying. So I think he will definitely be up there, and LazyBoy, yeah, he's just really quick. Like in qualifying, he got both poles around Australia and Bahrain, and yeah, he now got the win in Bahrain, so he will definitely be up there as well. And also, like, getting the extra points from the pole positions can be such a huge difference in the driver's standings. So yeah, he will definitely get an advantage from that. But yeah, these are two drivers we will definitely see a lot of times this season on the podium.
Yeah, definitely, and especially in a championship fight that is so close, those bonus points for pole position or fastest lap could play a huge role. As we know, every point counts. Yeah, for example, here only 2 points between the two of them. Let's also talk about our third driver on the podium, Amion Curry. First race in GSR, and therefore also the first race in this season, and immediately on the podium. That was quite a surprising result for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Actually, I hosted the lobby, so I know that he kind of jumped in very spontaneously for the race, because we basically had a guy who didn't respond, and so we had to have a space left, and he was instantly there, and he was instantly on pace. So yeah, incredible performance from him. I'm quite sure if he would have known that he's racing earlier, he would have been able to fight LazyBoy if he would have gotten some more practice in, or even some practice. I don't even know if he got some practice in. But yeah, great performance from him as well. Great qualifying as well. Yeah, it's nice to see a lot of guys on the podium. Last season we had Odin, last race we had Odin in P3, now we have Amion Curry P3. So yeah, it's nice to see some variety, and yeah, I hope to see him race more often in the future, as he's been quite enjoyable to watch. Like, he's been quite enjoyable to watch racing this time around Bahrain. So yeah.
Yeah, and LazyBoy and Redo obviously have shown that they definitely have the pace to fight for the wins. It wasn't just a one-off in Australia or Bahrain. Now they got on P1 and P2 both times. Amy on Curry now, first race. Obviously, we don't really know the pace, but do you think like, because for the most part he stick with them, only have fallen back a little bit at the end. Although you have to say that he was fighting with Redo until the very last lap. Do you think he could also have a say in the championship fight? Only second race into the season now, still many races to go. So there's definitely a chance for him, or do you think it was just a one-off maybe here in Bahrain that it was the track that suits him very, very much?
No, I actually think there's actually quite a big chance for him to have like some fight up front. Just because of the fact he basically really spontaneously just joined and just basically drove a podium, which is quite impressive on this competitive grid. The thing is, like, the kind of downside right here is that he's still a reserve. He doesn't have a full-time seat. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe he'll get a full-time seat and he'll be able to race every race left basically in the season. But yeah, as of now, he's doing great. Obviously, Larsy Boy with 10 seconds of a gap is still another basically another fish in the tank. Like, it's kind of a different caliber still, but you know. Yeah, I think if Emion Curry gets a full-time seat and he gets some practice in, I think he'll definitely have a word to speak with Larsy Boy and Redo in the championship fight.
Yeah, hopefully, because the more drivers fighting for the title, the better. And yeah, the higher the chances are that we have a fight going all the way to the final race. Somebody else of that race I want to talk with you is Walters. Walters doing the alternative strategy. Most drivers started on the mediums, he went and then went on to the hards. He started on the hards and then went on to the mediums. Kept the hards for a pretty long time, because we didn't had another safety car after the one on the first lap. And yeah, so he took the hards very long and switched to the mediums then. Came out of P10 again with, let me guess, I think it was like 10 laps or so left. And still managed to get up back to P4. That was quite an impressive last stint from Walters. How did you saw it then after the race? I mean, you raced in it as well, so but what do you think about his performance?
Yeah, his performance was incredible. I actually saw him come out behind me on those fresh mediums. I instantly knew it was basically no fight for me, as I was on basically all hards and he was on fresh mediums, so I was fighting a losing battle. I would lose anyway. So yeah, I didn't thought he would actually get up to P4, but he had some crazy pace on those mediums. Going the alternate strategy here, I think it was the best call for him. I don't know where he qualified. He qualified P10. Yeah, it was actually a great decision for him to go hard medium here. That kind of the opposite. And it worked really well for him. Yeah, obviously we had Walters also for podiums last season. And GSR-Remastered. He got P2 in Bahrain as well, so maybe Bahrain is a track that suits him very well, but also he was fighting for podiums around Austria, so yeah, it's just shows that he has the pace to fight up front. Obviously now he's got the full-time seat around Aston Martin, and him finishing P4 in his first race, I think that just shows that he will be in the mix for wins and podiums, so yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, because like I said, the more the better. And I think also in Tier 2 as well, it's so unclear basically where everyone still is. Obviously we have the two, three top runners there, but behind that it is not sure who's gonna finish where. I mean, the best example maybe is Odin. We can talk about him shortly as well. P3 last week in Australia came a bit surprising there. P6 today, although he got a 10-second time penalty, which he got unfairly, and unfortunately it doesn't look like it's gonna get removed. It's a difficult situation because you can't just really delete 10 seconds of his race times, because this situation is so different than from other drivers. It is a very complex topic. But either way, P6 now with the 10 seconds, so we can surely guess that it may have been like 1 or 2 positions better even. How do you think about his performance in this season so far? Because I've got to be honest, I didn't expect it, but I'm pleasantly surprised by his performance so far.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well, as I thought I would be definitely faster than him, as I was last season, but apparently I'm not. Yeah, no, he's just had incredible performances so far. As of now, he's not really in the contention for a win. He doesn't seem to have the clear pace of the others, but he's definitely in the mix for podiums, and this will be great for the constructors. Also seeing that Redo and Odin are teammates, so they are scoring great points right now for the constructors. No, but yeah, definitely Odin is a guy to watch out, especially on the track, as he's just a really clean and fast driver. So yeah, you shouldn't really underestimate him at any time. As we've seen in Australia, just basically out of nowhere he got a podium, and now in Bahrain also just scoring very decent points and also qualifying very decently. So yeah, let's hope he can keep up this momentum for the next few races.
Yeah, definitely. And behind that, we had a group of drivers in Bahrain, where Odin also had to fight through after his pit stop, but he managed to do that. And yeah, in that group you were as well, Happa. It was a very interesting group to watch during the race. It was all the way from I mean, you can include drivers like GSR, who was in there as well, Vipex. Quick also found his way in there as well. But yeah, you were in there as well, and Nosk as well. And I saw you had a great battle with Nosk throughout the whole time of this race, basically. Tell us, how was that in the race then for you?
Yeah, well, basically I was not anywhere near the pace of the top. I was just basically losing time all the race to the front runners. So I was kind of caught up in between with all the midfield battle, which is completely fine. Yeah, I didn't really battle with Quick, as he just basically he took a big advantage from a 10-second penalty. He started P17 and then he just drove a clean race to the end and finished in front of me. I fought with Vipex for a few laps, and then obviously with Nosk. So yeah, it was a great battle, very clean battle. And yeah, I also had a battle with Odin, but he was just a lot quicker than me, and I just couldn't basically go his pace. He just basically cooked me on the traction zones, and I couldn't do anything. So yeah, I was just kind of basically kind of left out of the big points, but as of now it's okay. So yeah, it was great fighting these guys. It's nice to see that we've kind of got a competitive and clean grid as of now in the top 10, which is very, very nice to see, as we also have already some very likely some future T1 drivers in here. I very much believe Redo will be a future T1 driver, as will Jezza, as he's had crazy quality pace as well. So yeah, it's kind of nice to see the potential of all these guys. Yeah, it was a nice battle.
Yeah, and speaking of potential, I think this is a good moment to look at the standings then, to see who potentially could become Tier 2 champion in Season 16. And we have a very different picture here than compared to Tier 1. Because in Tier 1, we had from 6 possible podium finishers, we had 6 different. And here, from 6 different podium sitters, we have 4 different. In fact, we've got 2 people sharing the podiums twice, both times, Lazy Boy and Redo. And then we had Odin in round 1 being on the podium in P3, and Amy, sorry, now in Bahrain, of course, being on the podium. Yeah, so it's quite a different picture. I can go over the standings anyway. So Lazy Boy in P1 with 45 points, Redo behind with 43, so very close between the top 2. Then we've got Odin in P3 with 24 points, Amy on Curry now in P4 with 15, Buva in P5 with 12, same for Walters in P6. Then we've got Lililut and Jackyo in P7 and 8 with 10 points both, Vidus in P9 with 8, and Jezza at the moment in P10 with 6 points. Yeah, what is the biggest surprise for you when you look at the standings right now?
For me, the biggest surprise is how dominant Reader and Lazyboy is. I thought myself I could have a talk in there, but apparently in this grid I am nowhere near competitive. So it's crazy to see how good and fast and competitive these guys are up front. So yeah, I actually would have expected a lot more variety as well. Because I thought we have kind of a grid which is basically, or where people are all basically near the same pace. But also after seeing that Bahrain qualifying, we kind of don't really have this kind of grid, which is completely fine unless as long as the race is close. But yeah, especially in tier 2, like there's a lot of things happening in the race. It's a lot less structured than tier 1, I would say, as sometimes a lot of incidents happen, like we saw now in Bahrain lap 1. Yeah, I wouldn't say we really had that, like we didn't yet have that of a surprise yet, like as we had in tier 1 with Kuro. But I think it definitely will be there. So I think it's only a matter of time until we'll see some other guys on the podiums as well. But yeah, as of now, these two guys are absolutely cooking with their pace, and yeah, let's see what they can do in Shanghai.
Yeah, and Shanghai is a good word, because I wanted to ask you, do you feel like that there's anything changing in Bahrain, in China? Do you see China being completely a different track and somebody else might be up there? Or do you think it's gonna be Lazyboy and Redo again and then somebody third in this again?
Well, as of now, seeing the last two races, I will definitely say that Redo and Lazyboy will definitely be up there, as they have been up there in Australia and Bahrain in both races, as in qualifying. So they will be the ones to watch. But also we had Quick now in Bahrain, starting P17, finishing P8, if I'm not mistaken, or P9. I'm not quite sure, but he got a lot of overtakes done, and he got the podium last season tier 2 in China. So I think if he gets his quali pace in and if he drives a clean race, he will be definitely also ones to watch. Speaking of last season, me myself, I was actually the winner of China last season, but yeah, as of now, in my honest personal opinion, I don't think I'm anywhere near the top guys. I would definitely be very happy about a decent result. Maybe I can have a talk with them, like in the race, basically pace-wise. But yeah, we'll have to see what I can manage. But yeah, it will be definitely be very interesting to see what all these guys can do. Now that especially with Walters in the full-time seat, I think he will also be up there fighting for podiums, maybe even for wins. And yeah, and Odin, as of now, he's been scoring very, very decent points for McLaren. So he will also be up there and possibly helping Ridu to win over Lazyboy. So yeah, Shanghai will be very, very interesting and exciting.
Yeah, alright. And then let's quickly cover the constructor standings for tier 2 as well. And there we see McLaren currently in the lead with 67 points, but Williams also close behind with 57 points, so only 10 points behind. After that, we've got a bigger drop off to Red Bull in third place on 27 points, so they are 30 points behind Williams, 40 behind McLaren. And we've got Aston in P4 with 12 points, same as Alpine in P5. There we've got the Racing Bulls and Ferrari in P6 and 7, both on 11 points, so very close between P4 and P7, only 1 point separating 4 teams. Then we've got Haas in P8 with 6 points, Sauber in P9 with 2 points, and Mercedes in P10 with 1 point. But again, just like in Tier 1, every team has scored points. That is beautiful to see. But we do have some surprises here, I would say.
Yeah, definitely McLaren absolutely cooking with Odin and Ridu. Ridu obviously very quick. He got the win in Australia, now got the P2 in Bahrain. And Odin, a very, very decent point scoring driver. We've also got obviously Williams now with Lazyboy leading the Drivers' Championship. It was quite obvious that Williams will be up there as well. Yeah, so they seem pretty close as of now. But I will say in the future, if the second driver of Williams, namely Vipex, if he basically doesn't lock in, think McLaren will basically drive away with the drivers, not with the drivers, with the constructors championship in the future with the next few races coming. But yeah, obviously we've got all the other teams, or basically you could call them midfield teams, as they haven't scored that decent points yet, I would say. But yeah, we'll just see what the future brings. I think there will be also a lot more variety to those podiums in those last 10 races we still have. So I also expect other teams to be joining that mix up front. Yeah, so let's see what the future brings for T2.
Yeah, and I agree. I would just say maybe that I don't see the tier 2 constructors as easy for McLaren as the V Cup constructors in tier 1. I think McLaren will have a little bit of a tougher season here. I'm not saying that I don't think they're gonna win. As of now, as it stands, it looks very good for McLaren. They're the best team right now. They're the most consistent team right now. So yeah, let's see how that will change over the course of the season. But it's not gonna be as easy as it should be for the Racing Bulls in tier 1. But yeah, that to it. And yeah, I think we also covered everything for tier 2. Unless you have anything left to say.
As of now, I don't have anything to say. I think we've pretty much talked about everything.
Okay, good. Then we can move on to tier 3 now. And the race that happened for us yesterday. Yeah, we saw Bigosco taking his maiden win in tier 3, season 16. And in GSR in general, sorry. Don't know why I made it so confusing. But yeah, he took the win for the Racing Bulls. Behind him, we've got Milking Bofu in the Ferrari, then Speedy on the podium, JXB and McShafts in P4 and 5, Unep and myself in P6 and 7. Then we've got Orbel in P8, The Unsainted in P9, and Zeloni in P10, Vahur and One Strawberry in P11 and P12, Shrekis in P13, Milchio in P14, and unfortunately, drivers that did not finish the race were Daze, Gibbet, Zeus Gaming, DKX, and Pavel. Yeah, quick question before, did you watch any of Tier 3 race on Friday?
Yes, I watched the Tier 3 race.
Okay, good, cause I obviously raced in it, so I didn't saw that much of it. I saw a little bit of it, but by far not everything. So yeah, let's start at the top as usual. Bigosco taking the win by 1 second ahead of Making Bofu, which is quite surprising in that case that we didn't have a safety car or virtual safety car in Tier 3. So it was just pure racing from start to finish, and only 1 second between first and second is not that much then.
Yes. Well, Bigosco had a great race. He basically drove a very clean race and converted his very decent qualifying into a win, which is great for his points and also for the constructors. We had Orbel taking pole, which was quite a close pole actually. It was only a 10th clear of Bigosco, but he went for the medium hard strategy. And did he wait? Yeah, he went, and then he got a puncture as he pitted too early onto the hards. So yeah, that was quite unlucky for him, as he massively dropped off pace in the last couple of laps, and then he had to pit again for hards. So yeah, it was quite unlucky for him. Maybe it was just a bad strategy call, or maybe just quite unlucky. But yeah, we also had like Milking Bofor. He went for the opposite strategy. He went onto hards, like he started on hards and went onto the mediums. At the end, he had great pace on those mediums. He could catch up really quick to those guys up front fighting. Especially they were fighting, which made his life easier, as he basically gained time a lot easier towards them. So yeah, it was quite an exciting race, especially with the switch of the leading driver of the race, with Orbal getting the puncture. So yeah, it was a very exciting race. But how would you say how was your race in the midfield? Because I didn't quite get the fights on the mainstream in the midfield. I think the stream was very much focused up front. So how was it for you? And yeah, how was just the whole experience driving in basically tier 3, more in the points positions? Is it how would you assess it?
Yeah, it was quite, for me personally, quite an interesting race, I should say, because I actually was just about to cancel the race. So for me personally, not in overall, but I was feeling very sick before the race. I actually even vomited before the race. Seems like I've eaten something that wasn't quite good anymore. So I was feeling very bad before the race, until I vomited, and then I felt better. And then I thought, okay, I can do the race.
Damn.
So yeah, for me personally, better than Australia, of course, where I didn't even finish in the points. And yeah, here I got a little bit lucky for because of the tire puncture for Orbal, and he also had his 10-second time penalty. So I got ahead of him then by not quite much actually, as I just see the gaps here, roughly not even 2 seconds. But yeah, I mean, it was quite surprising in the end to finish in P7, because I was, for basically the whole race, I was in a kind of no man's land. There wasn't really many people around me. Had a interesting battle over the course of the race with Vahur. And Unep for a short period as well, if I'm correct. But yeah, besides that, there wasn't not much happening for me. So yeah, actually I'm very surprised at the end to get P7. Let's see how that looks after penalties, but yeah, at least better than Australia. But yeah, it's actually there's not much I could say about my race. It was I was doing my laps. Was spending quite a long time on the mediums, actually, like 15 laps or so, I think. But that's basically it. There wasn't much happening. But yeah, I think at the front it was quite exciting, right? Like I saw a lot of battles on the minimap at least, and I think also a couple of position changes there as well in the top 3, 4, something like that.
Yeah. As I mentioned, Baking Both obviously went on the opposite strategy, which just basically shaked up the front a lot, as he had a lot of fresher tires and could go for a lot of moves. We also have to mention Jake's BF1, who had a quali ban, started P20, didn't even set a lap time, and he finished P4 by simply driving his own race, staying clear of incidents, and yeah, it was incredible to watch. I was actually very happy to see such a comeback basically in this race. Yeah, very happy for him to score, like seeing him score very decent points. But yeah, other than that, we've had actually quite a lot, 5 DNFs, which is maybe even to be expected in tier 3, as we have a lot of rookies and unexperienced drivers. So at this point, everyone is learning and gaining experience. So yeah, it's not too. We shouldn't be too harsh on people making mistakes, as it just happens. It's part of growing in league racing. So yeah, let's see what this grid can do in Shanghai. But as of now, it's been very mixed up basically, especially with the puncture Orbal had. So yeah, let's see how these guys will qualify and race in Shanghai.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the DNFs, and I think we can quickly mention at least one per driver of that. That would be Daz, or Daze.
Yeah.
Definitely after Australia, one of the drivers to watch. He took the win on Australia, so I think there were some high expectations for him in Bahrain. And I think he didn't even do that bad. I think he was up there at the front as well. But yeah, then his race took an unexpected turn, and in the end he DNF'd completely. What do you think about his race in Bahrain?
Well, I think, as if I remember correctly, he basically locked up into turn 1 really badly, or like he couldn't brake, and then I think he had to retire because his brakes didn't work. I'm unsure if it happened this way, but I think it was somewhat like that. So unlucky for him. We know he has great pace just from seeing Australia. But yeah, I hope we can come back basically from this kind of result. Obviously, it was just a technical problem, nothing he could do about it. I just hope he just doesn't think too much about it. I just hope he kind of ticks it off and just goes onto the next race, which is namely Shanghai. But yeah, he's still a guy to watch out for. He's incredibly fast in tier 3, and for me, 100% also a future tier 2 driver in GSR if he continues driving GSR, obviously. The incredible guy. I hope he will come back from this result in the future races.
Yeah, hopefully. And with that, I think we can go over the standings now. And we see a little bit like tier 2 as well. No, wait, tier 2? Tier 1, sorry.
Tier 1. Yep.
Quite a surprising leader in form of Making Bofu. Obviously, he was up there in both races, actually. P3 in Australia, P2 in Bahrain. And that is enough to lead the championship at this point. 34 points for him. Days, then right behind him, 26 points for him. And yeah, again here, without the DNF here, just like Speed even in tier 1, he surely would be leading. But yeah, who knows. Then Bigosco in P3 with 25 points, same as Speedy actually in P4. So by far the closest driver standings from all our 3 tiers so far.
Yeah, definitely. As once again, just consistency pays off, just as we had in tier 1 with more leader. Once again, we have Milking Buffer not winning a single race, but still scoring 2 podiums and basically being in the top of the sheet. So yeah, that's basically what you need in order to win a championship. It's just simply being consistent, not making mistakes, staying clear of incidents. Opt in the most optimal scenario, not getting any track limit penalties. It's just being consistent, and yeah, he's done that. He's obviously now P1 in the drivers' standings. As actually Daz and Bigoshko both had DNFs they both got a DNF each. So yeah, just be making buffer, taking advantage of their mistakes, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we will see him up there as well for the future races if he can keep up his momentum and consistency. But it's not to underestimate Bigoshko's and Daz's pace basically if they get things right. Because if they get things right, they win races. So yeah, maybe Wilking Buffer will have to upper his pace a little bit to be able to fight for the drivers all the way till the end in Abu Dhabi. But yeah, let's see. As of now, it looks very exciting, very close, as you said. So yeah, let's see what the future brings.
Yeah, and what would you say is the most important part in tier 3 to win a driver's title? Is it the consistency, or do you think like it is the pure pace as well?
For me personally, first of all, for these all new guys and all those rookies just getting a lot of experience. I'm sure for some of these guys it's like basically the first time ever league racing a full season or even driving a league race. So it's basically just getting a feel for the game, getting a feel for the races, for the strategy. This will be the most important thing. And after that, if you're challenging for a championship, in my opinion, number one is consistency. But as I learned last season, consistency can possibly not be enough. Sometimes you need to be simply faster than the guys around. So consistency can pay off if people around you make mistakes, like we see now with Daz having a DNF and Bigoshko having a DNF. Hence, making buffer is in P1 with not making basically mistakes. But if Daz or Bigoshko pick up their pace and score consistently very good results, P1s and P2s, then Milking Buffer will have to do something about it as well. Then consistency will not help anymore, scoring consistent P3 and P4 finishes, because they will just basically run away with the Drivers' Championship. So as of now, it looks very good for him, but in the near future, if Des and Bigoshko figure things out, it might be very, very tough for Milking Buffer. So yeah, let's see, but maybe he'll surprise us in Shanghai, maybe he'll win the next race, then he'll be very clear in the drivers' standings. But yeah, it looks very, very, very competitive and exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And when we take a look now at the constructor standings for TF3, it pretty much shows the same thing as well. We've got Williams leading the way with 47 points, Ferrari in second with 36 points. And we've got Aston Martin in third with 27 points, 25 points for Racing Bulls in P4, 22 points for Sauber in P5, so only 4 points roughly, 5 points separating P3 and P4, 5, so also pretty close there. Then Mercedes P6 with 19 points, Haas in P7 with 14 points, McLaren in P8 with 9 points, Alpine in P9 with 7 points, and Red Bull in P10 is the only team in all 3 tiers that hasn't scored any points so far. Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but I'm sure they will score some points along the way. Maybe already in Shanghai then. But yeah, your thoughts to the tier 3 constructors, Sapper?
As of now, I would say they're nearly copied from the drivers. We basically have Williams P1 as Des as P2 in drivers. We basically have Ferrari P2 as Milking Buffer as P1 in drivers. And we basically have Racing Bulls P4 as Bigoshko as P3. So I think for now it will come down to if the teammates of these top drivers can kind of find points. Because it will, like, if you want to win a Constructors' Championship, you need both drivers to score consistently points. And if you don't have that, it basically comes down only to a driver, which just doesn't help, considering it's basically a 2-man battle instead of a 1-man battle. And you really should use that fact that you have 2 drivers in this fight, because why make it your life hard basically as a team and get only one guy scoring all the points when you can have 2 people scoring points and helping the team. So I'm very interested how these other drivers will be able to do. Obviously for Ferrari we have Mikio PL. I don't know any about his pace. I know that he has scored only 2 points so far. For Williams we have DKEX, a very decent driver, but he hasn't been able to convert it into decent points yet, even though he's gained 6 points around Australia, but he got a DNF in Bahrain, but maybe he will be able to pick up some more points in the future races. And in Racing Bulls we have basically Walters. He has been moved up. I don't know who's actually the second driver right now in Racing Bulls, but it doesn't change the fact that basically you need 2 drivers scoring the points. So yeah, as of now, it looks basically like a copy of the drivers' standings, or nearly like as a copy. But yeah, we'll just come down to if both drivers can score consistently points. So yeah.
Yeah, all right. And would you agree that Tier 3 constructor is the most open of any of the tiers at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I think in general we've just seen with Des and Bigoshko having DNFs that there's a lot of things that can happen. We can see a lot of variety on the podiums. And maybe, who knows, maybe if we find some variety on the podiums, maybe the same guy can keep going onto those podiums and we'll maybe see another team basically rising up. But yeah, Tier 3 is just basically, you could argue, the most unexperienced tier in whole GSR, but also the tier with the most potential. As you don't know these guys, you don't know like what they're like. Maybe we will have some incredible like developments throughout this whole season, and some other guys will go dominating after like getting some experience in the first few races, and then just being able to convert that experience into like consistent, decent points results. Yeah, we'll just have to see. As of now, we have some very, very competitive drivers up front, but I'm sure there will be also like other drivers popping up on those podiums and helping their team basically for the constructors.
Yeah, surely. I mean, the season is long. Anything can happen. We're gonna see some epic races. Pretty sure. So, yeah, will be interesting. Hapa, if you had to pick one driver of this week who impressed you the most, who would it be?
It's an underrated call, but for me personally, it's JXP F1. Like, I think I raced with him in the same tier last season, as we only had 2 tiers, and I basically saw him not often do well. But now seeing him in tier 3 scoring some very, very decent points from a quali ban in P20, I think that's for me by far the most impressive performance. So I'm very happy for him. I hope we can keep going with this pace and keep on scoring points, because it was just great to see him finally score some great points, and I'm very, very happy for him. And it was simply like basically a race with 16 overtakes. Like, like he moved up the ranks 16 places, so it's just crazy. You don't really see that often.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, I think with that we also covered everything for tier 3 and Bahrain then, unless you want to mention anything else.
No, I think we've covered Bahrain pretty well.
Okay, good. Yeah, so with Bahrain complete, then the championship now moves on to round 3 of the season, the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. Yeah, Shanghai is a very different challenge compared to the first 2 races. The circuit features long sweeping corners. Obviously the turn 1, 2, 3 corner complex, the famous one, and of course one of the longest straights on the calendar, leading into a heavy braking zone. However, tracks like Shanghai often reward drivers who can manage tire wear while still maintaining strong pace throughout those long corners. How different is the driving style required here compared to Bahrain?
It's a lot different. I would differentiate here between people driving with assist and no assist, because it's for me personally, getting this experience, especially in the last races, for me it's really difficult to find some consistent pace without traction control. So in my opinion, people with traction control might have a advantage here, but if I'm not mistaken, traction control also gives you maybe more tire wear and maybe more temperature in the rear tires. So yeah, I think it rewards people who can drive consistent and really, really clean and manage the tires, because China is a tire killer basically, like all those fast turns and basically such a long track. It's very, very difficult. It's very, very harsh on those tires. So yeah, it's just about driving clean, maintaining a decent pace, and also just especially managing your tires and having a good strategy. I remember from last season tier 2, basically making it till the end on the one stop was really close, as you basically had the mediums and the hards in puncture territory. So maybe it'll also come down to a lot of luck, but we'll see about that. But yeah, I think China as a general is not a track a lot of people like, which is understandable, as it's like a very, very specific track. Like it has a very, very it's a very, very special track. Honestly, it's especially turn 1 and 2. It's you don't see that anywhere else. So yeah, let's see who will come out on top. But I think managing tires will be a very, very big topic here.
Yeah, and do you think we see the same trend continuing from the first 2 rounds, or do you think China can mix things up and maybe surprise us in one or another tier?
I think it can be very much of a surprise, because it's just a very, very difficult and challenging track to drive itself. You have a lot of traction zones, you have a lot of difficult turns. There's also a possibility of rain in China. So yeah, it might be the same in some tiers, but I think we'll see at least in one tier a big change up front. As it's really just one of a kind of a jack. So I just can't imagine basically this race to go the same trend in all 3 tiers. I just can't imagine it.
Yeah, surely. And who, for you personally, who do you think stands out now after Bahrain? Who do you think will surprise us in Shanghai?
Are we talking about one specific tier, or are we
No,
talking about,
just in general, or maybe one per tier or something like that. Just like drivers you will keep an eye on.
Okay.
For the next round.
For tier 1, I would definitely say Speed Demon will be back up there 100%, as he's basically up there every race. So if he'll probably get the pole once again, and if he doesn't get a unlucky disconnect, then he'll be also fighting for the win. He's just a guy you cannot count out. In tier 2, I would say it's tough. I would say Quick will have a decent performance. Just from last season, he's been really, really decent around China. So I think he's a guy to watch out, especially now going as an underdog, basically, as P14 in the driver standings. I think he will have a very, very decent performance in China. And for tier 3, I think it's actually a tough call for tier 3, as we have a lot of rookies there. But if I would have to take a guess, I would say after taking pole in Bahrain, I think Orbel will find his pace in Shanghai once again. I think he will figure out the strategy. Definitely a lot better in Bahrain, and I think he will definitely be up there once again. As he basically was in Bahrain until the puncture. So, in my opinion, he's the guy to watch out in tier 3.
Yeah, alright. I think that's it, actually. There's nothing more I could add to it, actually.
Okay.
Do you have anything left for China then?
Actually, not. I would say it's a track where it's not that hard to overtake, as we have 2 kind of long DRS straights. Yeah, we should see some good racing. Hopefully some clean racing as well. I wish the very best luck and fun to all the drivers for Shanghai. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, alright. Cool. Thanks for joining me here, Hubbard, tonight. Really appreciate it. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything for this week's review and preview. Bahrain gave us some fantastic racing across all 3 tiers. Let's see if that continues on to Shanghai. Surely it does, because Shanghai usually produces good racing. And yeah, thanks all for joining us here tonight. Let us know what you think about the week preview in the comments. And yeah, hope to see you guys then on Wednesday for the first round in Shanghai for tier 1. And yeah, remember tier 3 on Friday, tier 2 on Saturday. And yeah, have a good evening and see you guys next time. Bye bye.